Hey guys, I'm just about to pull this hairpiece off my head. I'm lying here, I'm just going like this, and I'm feeling it's starting to lift at the back, and I just know that the glue's deteriorated enough that it's probably yellow underneath here. This was my ultra hold that I put up here, and the front section is still Devlin waterproof adhesive. I mean, it doesn't prevent lifting completely from sweat and stuff like that. I've contacted Lord Hair about creating some custom hair pieces for me, because I always want to use the 0.03 millimeter poly, right? And they're only made in domes. Lace is also made in domes, but I think they make it flat and then they stitch it and then they force it into a dome shape afterwards. Whereas poly, I think they make thousands of these dome shaped poly things and they never even think about the partials market. It blows my mind. I mean, if I asked you, do you think there are more balding people in the world than bald people? Think of all the people who are just starting to go bald and they're freaking out. They are a huge market. Think of the emotional purchasing they'll be doing. What can I get? Finasteride, fucking Rogaine. Just what is the solution? I just don't want it. Do I wear a hat every day? Do I shave my head and grow a beard? What do I fucking do? This is scary shit, man. I don't want to spend the rest of my life as a baldy, right? Apparently your hairline is going to be similar to your grandfather on your mother's side. So your mother's father. Apparently your hairline is supposed to be like that. And so far, for me, that's been true. My grandfather had massive peaks and a patch back here. It never balded through the center completely. Whereas my actual father is basically completely horseshoe. So I don't think I'd follow that extreme pattern of balding. But then again, his brothers are not as bald as him. I suppose they're similar, but it's not as bad as that. So it's not identical in every single sibling. So you can't say that your father is going to make the child look a specific way, or the grandfather is going to make the child look a specific way. Anyway, I'm going to take this up. I'm asking Lord Hair to produce rectangles 15 centimeters by 30 centimeters. So about my forehead, and yours as well, I assume, is about 14 to 15 centimeters across, maybe 13 to 15, maybe 16, I don't know. I'm trying to work with them to develop something that they can sell as stock. So for the first time, I don't know if there are any companies that do it, but I haven't seen any. I'm pretty sure 0 companies do it. Make rectangles so that you can cut out whatever your stencil is for partials. If you don't need the full dome, and some of you would say, you need the full dome, man. What are you doing? Look at the back of your head, that bald spot's getting really fucking bad. It's worse when it's wet. So, another thing I should probably tell you, just on the sake of appearance, since we're talking about vanity and everything, I have not eaten any solid food for 2 days. I've just been getting so fucking double chinned and fat that I've done this before. I lost in 8 weeks. I lost 22 kilograms once. I was, the fat face thing. It's really, when you got a heap of meat around there, then you already see your belly and shit, and your armpits have got fat underneath them. It's getting harder and harder for you to put your arms by your side and shit like that. You feel your inner thighs rubbing together because it's all fat everywhere. You're fat. You're fat, and you've got to lose it. Otherwise, your life's going to be shit. Seriously, you're invisible at best, and you're not worthy of respect. in a lot of circumstances, so it's fucked up. So I'm shrinking my stomach, because your stomach is elastic, right? You can eat if you can eat 3 pizzas and still be hungry, your stomach is really stretched out, right? Some people have such a shrunken stomach, and your stomach is elastic too. It can shrink back down, which is what I'm doing now with a liquid diet. I'm just having protein shakes and soup and chewing gum so I don't go fucking crazy. But it's delicious. I mean, protein shakes are delicious. Soup is delicious. I just don't have bread or anything like that. If I ever want to cheat a little bit, I'll just have fruit or like celery, which I've heard burns more calories to digest than you gain from it. Yeah, so I should probably stock up on some more celery. On the topic of celery, don't just leave it on a fridge shelf. It's got to either be in the crisper drawer or in a plastic container. Otherwise, it'll just go floppy. Not good celery, bad celery. Anyway, so I'm hoping to lose a bunch of kilograms and look noticeably different if I can just keep this up. I think my weight loss in those days had something also to do with a lot of walking, which I had to do a lot, and yeah, 8 weeks I was just really walking heaps as well, so it could have been more to do with the walking. But I've had a really bad back. I've got MRI scans and CAT scans of my back recently. I went to a back surgeon again today. He looked at them, and this was the big moment of truth. When was going to schedule the surgery on my spine, right? I had 2 options. He could go in from the back, which is not going to be as effective, and put a sort of a spacer to try and separate my L1-S5 through your lumbar vertebrae, meet your lower sacrum vertebrae. That gap there, it's quite a common injury. I think Tiger Woods had the exact same surgery I was looking at getting. So they can go in through the back, and that would cause some sort of nerve damage or something, right? Or they could go in through the front, a gash this wide, he said, along the belt line, right? And it could cause 3 to 4% chance of causing weakened ejaculation or something, he said. I don't know. It sounded less nasty when he said what it's called, but basically, when you come, it all goes into your bladder or some shit. And so it would have to be IVF if I ever want to have a baby, because I'm not going to be ejaculating into a woman. That would suck, man. That would really suck. It would make wanking nice and neat, but shit, imagine coming and then nothing comes out. That's, oh God. No, I'd rather have a bad back. Thanks. Go from behind. Do me from behind, for fuck's sake. Anyway, he said, are you having constant pain? I said, look, I'm not worried about the pain. I'm worried about the pinching of the nerve. Isn't that going to be severed eventually? Isn't it like a frayed rope that's getting scratched along my vertebrae bone every time I sneeze? He's basically explained to me it's probably not going to be severed from you sneezing and walking around but every time I'm walking across the road and a car comes, I've got a jolt, and it's like, oh God, that fucking hurts, right? That's how bad my back is, but it's not as bad as some people where they're in constant pain and they just need the operation just so that, because the pain is unbearable. So I'm not in that boat. So I'm just in pain whenever I move, basically, but it can be strengthened with physiotherapy, which is basically, you go and attend these people. They're basically like a live YouTube video. They say, do these exercises 3 times a day. It'll only take about 3 hours a day for the rest of your life. And I got to follow along with that. You know, I thought a physiotherapist would be like a personal trainer, where we're doing stuff together for an hour. You know, however many days a week we need to do it. But you don't pay for physiotherapists that often, right? I get 5 free ones per year because I'm on a health plan or something. So I get to see 5 times a year, and they can write it and refine the list of exercises I've got to do. But it's not like they're doing any hand holding. I've got to do it myself and be disciplined about that. But given that there are a lot of people with this exact same injury, I think it's probably worth just fucking becoming fit and healthy. So now that I'm losing the weight a bit, I've done this to myself before, but I keep lapsing back down into relaxation, sitting in a chair for hours and hours for days at a time, actually, for 30 hours at a time, playing a computer or some shit. Or even just lying in bed and looking at this big fucking screen, right? Watching videos about space and quantum physics and stuff. Which is why I'm so fucking smart, by the way. No, I'm smart already. Because, I mean, you can just tell. I'm curious. I'm curious when I'm motivated. If I'm not motivated because I want to kill myself, I'm not that curious. I'm more like, you know, the problem for me is it's not a problem. I've reasoned through a lot of things. I've written diaries that would fill this room. The diaries I've written, the video diaries, the handwritten diaries, just non-stop fucking diaries. That's why I can speak to you with quite confident certainty about topics of philosophy, which I've already reasoned through. Most of the things I hear about that were written somewhere else are things that I thought of already, and then I discover, oh, that's been written about by somebody and it's become famous somewhere. If you just study philosophy or something, because I've been through it. I started at 0 point by scratching away. Just like if you throw away your life completely and you start from scratch and you just reason through life, what the fuck is the purpose of being here at all, right? I've been through a lot of that. Diaries and diaries and diaries from teenagehood onwards. Anyway. And also, spending a year in a foreign country where you can't speak English helps to get your writing done, because that's your only companionship if you don't find anyone else to communicate with when you say, do, right? You know what you're saying. I learned a bit of the language anyway. So, well, it's a year, so yeah. Not proud of how little I learned, but I know some conversational. This is hairpiece that's coming off because I'm gonna. Okay, I'll tell you what. The grip on this is pretty strong. Still, that's stuck on pretty hard. So why would I pull it off? Why wouldn't I just do some maintenance on a hairpiece that's already stuck on quite well and doesn't even want to lift? Because there's a bit of glue around the front, and this bit back here, it starts to feel like it's fraying back here. So in order to access this bit back here, I'll tell you why. I think it's time that I take it off, clean it, and shave my head. Also, I feel I'm not gonna be seen by anybody for a few days, right? So I might as well let my head breathe. Because unlike lace, where you get that sort of some sort of breathability, that you can never really clean it. I mean, you'd have to, I don't know how I've tried cleaning lace in the past. You can't just put it in C22. Like C22, you would need like 5 bottles of C22, and they're expensive enough, right? And then what? This soup of deteriorating, dissolving adhesive and C22 is just sitting there on the hairpiece. C22 and glue mixed together don't just wash off with soap and water. It's a pain in the ass. It's always a pain. With poly, it's a lot easier. You peel it off with your thumb, then you just sort of spray C22 and you just wipe it and put on the soap and water and just wipe it and put it in the shower and just use some shampoo and conditioner and stuff, and it's back to almost brand new again, right? With lace, it's nothing like that. So that's the good thing about poly. I mean, it's a great thing about poly. But breathability, I mean, it's not like I'm suffocating. It's just starting to peel back here a bit. And also in the mirror, when I was, combing the bits and just checking and stuff, you can't see it in this lighting, right? You can't see it, but there are gaps along here that I know are there. So it's not right up tight against the perimeter at the moment. It could afford to be lifted and tightened back over. And there's a feeling of freshness that comes from putting on a hairpiece that's just got new glue, and you've shaved all the stubble under there, and just knowing that the yellow glue is under there with little bubbles of fucking bacteria shit everywhere. So I want to clean that out. and make it all fresh and nice. And yeah, for hygiene purposes, I guess, mostly. So here I go. How do I take off a hairpiece? This is how to take off a hairpiece. So here's a bit that's lifting right here. At the front, it's all good because this is where I've been doing hairline maintenance with the Davlin waterproof adhesive, which I really like. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab this bit back here. Can you hear it? It's a nice feeling to have that cool air on my sweaty wet head. I'm just gonna wait till the video isn't as black, although I probably shouldn't have so much space footage. Okay, here we go. Before, after. And even in this dark lighting, you can see how much stubble is already regrown under there. It's definitely time to take this off for a while. Notice how I'm not just ripping fully fast. There's no real reason for that, except for the fact that I don't want to stretch it and permanently warp it. And I'm sorry, without good lighting, I can't show you whether that's yellow or whatever underneath. I will be cleaning that by rolling it. It's easier actually to clean that with my thumb when it's a bit drier. At the moment it'll still have some sweaty wetness to it. But yeah, later on. And then I will wash my head. I'll probably be, when this dries a bit more, I'll be picking, probably just rolling my finger along there as I lie here and just getting some of those wet wipes in beside me in bed and just cleaning my scalp with it and refresher toweling it all. And then tomorrow I guess I'll shave that and prepare it for the next round and clean that. I'll put C22 on it and stuff as well. Okay, so that's how you remove your hairpiece and when you remove your hairpiece.